Masters, mistresses, the Doctor requires materials in order to maintain the TARDIS and ensure continued functionality. He similarly requires carbon-based comestibles to sustain his own biological functions and existence. Master would never say this, but he requires aid beyond that supplied by this unit in order to acquire these. To aid the Doctor in his various tasks and creations, this can be most effectively achieved via Patreon or Substack subscriptions, or through donations directly to PayPal. Or if you desire physical goods in return for your contributions, written accounts of my travels with the Doctor are also available on Amazon. Links are in the description below. Thank you, masters, mistresses.
Hi, Dr. Alex here, and welcome to hopefully a very short video, which is a follow-up to my How to Make a Bass 6 Guitar on the Cheap video I made before. This is just making a quick summary of the little finishing touches I've done to the bass guitar since, to make it pretty much now a finished bass 6 guitar. As you can see, the cat is here. I'll probably disturb it, so I'm shuffling stuff around, but, well, let's see. Okay, so there's a few things I've done to it since the last video, not much, but just the odd tweak here and there. I've cleaned up bits of the paintwork and woodwork where I'd caused a bit of a mess before, and I've cleaned it up and put some nice polish over it, and so now it looks nicer, and also feels nicer. More importantly, perhaps, I've moved the bridge and the tremolo system back as far as I can get away with, in order to get the intonation right. Now, the intonation is still not perfect, because these Teisco guitars, which I've used the trem system for, usually come with these bridges which are a single rail, so you can't fine adjust the intonation on every string like you could with, say, a normal Strat or even a P bass, where they have individual saddles which you can adjust the position for more finely. So this is the best average intonation I could get out of this guitar, but it is a lot better than it was before. One final thing I did was I have eliminated the rattle largely from the trem system, because it wasn't what I thought it needed with extra PTFE tape stuffing into any gaps. I just squared to some WD-40 on the hinge for the tremolo, and that got rid of most of the extra sounds that were coming out of it. I'm now going to turn the amp that I've got it plugged into on so you can hear the intonation better, and indeed everything on the bass guitar you'll be able to hear better than in the last video, because I've put this amplifier right here next to the microphone close to me, so you hopefully will be able to hear more of the tones of the guitar as played through an amplifier rather than just the microphone picking up the raw sound coming straight from the strings, which was definitely coming through in the last video. In addition, the amplifier I'm using this time is one of my AC30s, which is of course a guitar amp, so I'm going to have the volume turned right down this. The volume at the moment is on 1, I think, or very close to 1, so that I'm not overdriving the amplifier just on the normal play. I might turn it up a bit towards the end, but I'm not going to play this for very long. I'll give you a quick demo on both of the pickups, but I'm not going to spend long playing this. Just long enough so you can hear how well this guitar now sounds. But first of all, let's do the intonation. Okay, so hopefully you can still hear me. Let's try the intonation on each string. You'll hear it's a lot closer to a perfect intonation than it was before, but it's still, it's a bass guitar. I mean, how perfect do you expect it to be? But it is way better than it was before. So it's still out, but not that much. So it's really the first two strings which are the furthest out of any of them. From there on in, it gets a lot better. Well, it gets better. One more time. So it's way closer than it was before. I do wish that I had individual tuners' saddles on each one of the strings. Maybe, if I feel like it, I'll replace the entire bridge with a Tunematics bridge or something like that, where I can actually change the individual saddles individually, because it'll have individual saddles. But for now, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's just try out the guitar briefly on the various different settings. At the moment, it looks like it's on the neck pickup, which is the more smooth-toned one. Okay, now the bridge pickup. A little bit more trebly, I suppose, because it's the bridge one. Bloody cat just trod on the recording. You idiot! Let's try both pickups together. Anyway, that'll do. You've heard what it's like. This is now a bass 6, which is serviceable, works, and the intonation is as close as it's going to get without a more specialised bridge setup. So I hope this is useful and will encourage you to experiment for yourself, but I hold no responsibility if everything you're doing blows up or catches fire. But anyway, hopefully this was useful and entertaining. And until the next video, to all my listeners and watchers out there, take care. Thank you.